Hello friends, it's Jerry with Black Salt Audio, and today I kind of wanted to delve into my mixing process when it comes to heavy metal rhythm guitars. A little bit of a shorter video today, but I think you'd be surprised with how little I actually do to process my guitar, so let's just go ahead and listen to the track. Okay, so I think it's sounding pretty good already. Still needs a little bit more work, but before I delve into the actual mixing process of the rhythm guitars, I kind of want to talk about the philosophy behind tracking these guitars, because with any good source tone, getting it right at the source is going to make up for more of your mix than really anything that you'll ever do in the box. So as you can see, here are my rhythm guitar tracks, and it's very, very simple. The bulk of it is really just this rhythm left and rhythm right guitar. This is a double track performance. And then during this particular section of the song, I just have this rhythm C guitar part. As you can see, the volume is a little bit lower. And it's just accenting that first note of the section every time we repeat. So it's actually the same guitar. I used an octaver to pitch it down and just to really accentuate, that beginning part of the section. So let's just go ahead and listen to the guitars in isolation. Cool. So I think that's already sounding pretty good. There's still work that needs to be done, but you can see that by design, that rhythm C part is really just kind of, it's just giving it that little extra more for the beginning parts of those sections. Just to, it's those little moves that really go a long way. So these were tracked with the Line 6 Helix, and I took a lot of time to, make my choice of amp and cabinet combo to make sure that, we didn't have any kind of crazy low end going on, because that's the bass's job and things like that. So if your waveforms look a little bit more dynamic than mine, and it's, especially when you dig into those palm mutes, there's a really cool Andy Sneap trick where you use a multi-band compressor to really kind of squash down on those palm mute sections. But due to the nature of these guitar parts and how they were tracked, I don't think that's going to be necessary for this particular example. But first things first, let's go ahead and throw on an EQ on there and tame some of those crazy whistly frequencies. Okay, so we managed to clean up a lot of that annoying hiss that just comes with the nature of recording high-gain guitar amps. So next, I'm going to use this SSL channel to filter out the low end and the high end, add a little bit more bite, and just bump the lower mids just a tiny bit just so it can pop out a little bit more. Okay, so we managed to kind of focus up the guitar a little bit, add a little bit more bite and presence, and just kind of clean up just kind of the extra gunk that we just really don't need when it comes to rhythm guitar parts. Next, I'm actually going to utilize the compressor section of this plugin. And that might seem strange because if you look at the guitar tracks themselves, they're already kind of undynamic as it is. But what we're going to do here is we're going to set the ratio to about 3:1, 4:1-ish. We're going to set the release really fast, but we're going to keep the attack slow. So we're not going to engage this fast attack section. And basically what we're trying to achieve is for the compressor to kind of struggle to react quickly. And what that's going to do is that every time an initial note hits, it's just going to duck down slightly after the fact. giving kind of a cool impression that the guitars are just kind of jumping out a little bit. So let's go ahead and dial that in. I'm not going for a ton of gain reduction here. So I think that's giving us kind of a cool effect. We managed to get the guitars to pop out just a little bit more. And really the only thing that I would do last is just a little bit of stereo widening. Now, again, when it comes to wideners, you kind of really don't want to go crazy unless that's the kind of effect you're trying to go for. But I'm just going to push them out just a little bit more to make space for like the drums and the bass and stuff. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much like almost all of the processing that I would do. But now it's time to add a little bit of salt. So as I mentioned before, these were tracked to the Line 6 Helix, and I think it is suffering from a little bit of modular syndrome where we've managed to get a lot of bite and stuff out of the guitars, but it does sound a little kind of cold and lifeless. So this is where something like Escalator can kind of come in and add some really cool saturation and kind of character and depth to it. Now, Escalator can be great on a number of sources. Like today, we're going to use it on guitars. In a previous tutorial, I did use it on some bass guitar. It's also great on the snare drum. Just very quickly, I want to showcase just kind of how aggressive Escalator can be. And with the nature of these rhythm guitars, I don't think I'm going to go as crazy, but just kind of as an example, I'm going to show you just, you know, how crazy it can go. So yeah, it can add a ton, and that's not what we're trying to do here. So I'm just gonna kind of go to taste, kind of real subtly, just to kind of fill out, you know, kind of the missing gap between modular and real guitar amp. So to me, that's adding some really cool kind of saturation and liveliness to our rhythm guitar parts. So very quickly, I'm just going to show kind of like a before and after. Here it is with it engaged. And now in the context of the mix. Cool, so that's adding just a lot of kind of exciting energy that our rhythm guitars just didn't have before. And that's pretty much all I would do to my rhythm guitar tracks. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. Do you guys like using saturation plugins on your rhythm guitar tones, or is that something that you really don't gravitate towards? I'd love to know. If you liked what you heard in this tutorial, there's a link in the description that'll take you to where you can get a 14-day free trial of Escalator or any of our plugins. We have new videos here every week, so why not consider subscribing and leave a like while you're at it. Until next time, I've been Jerry, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!